Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Max. Today we are playing Humankind, a game that is just over 2 years old. So we are going to be a random, basically random world here. Random, we'll say for this regular, average, chaotic, what is custom? What's average, and then everything else is random here. Continent spread we'll say is random as well. Beautiful. A small map. We're playing against 3 other people, and let's get the game started. All right, here we are at the dawn of Humankind. So for those of you who have played other 4X games, like obviously the Civilization series is the most popular. I am a big player of that as well since Civ 4. Also, Old World is something that I will play on my channel as well at some point. So the interesting thing here that Humankind does is you actually start in the Neolithic era, so you are a nomadic tribe. So it's not about, we have our first, tribe kind of hunter member here as we're going through this. We are nomadic at this point. Your starting position here does not dictate necessarily where you're going to settle. The way that you pick this, you can see, for those of you, again, that don't know, you have the lines here. These dictate regions. And then ultimately, once you get enough influence, which is shown up here, you build an outpost, and that then will most likely form your first city. We'll go through this more and explain this as we go. I think this game is a lot of fun, and it has a lot of really interesting new features compared to something like a Civilization. I'm not knocking Civilization in any way, shape, or form. I love it. But I do think, that some variety and stuff like that is, when it comes to these games, is really great. So we have an interesting start here. Some prairie. So by the way, the first thing when you are nomadic, you're going to be going around collecting these. They're going to provide some science and influence. They also have food things as well. So you need to collect enough of these and get your first, what they call era star here. So you either need to have 7 units, have collected 15 science, or kill 7 animals to ultimately advance to the ancient era, where you will build your first city and then choose your own civilization. That is also something that is new, or different, I should say, from this game relative to something like a Civilization or an Old World, where you pick one civilization and play it throughout. Here, you get to pick different civilizations as you progress through the eras. So it can be a lot of fun. We'll talk more about kind of strategy here. I'm seeing a river. That's pretty good. We are seeing another science curiosity. Ancient encampments. We're getting pretty close here to potentially getting our first star. These are resources that we haven't discovered yet. We won't know them until we hit the appropriate era. Up here we have lead, which is a very good luxury resource. We have some more food, which we're going to go collect. You'll notice here when we're collecting this food, ultimately, it takes 3 of these to find or to create another tribe member. Let's look here. So we came across a vast tract of wild grain. Our 2 options, we can either plant it, which will give us domestication, which is one of the technologies that we'll research, or what I'm going to do here is +2 food. Food is one of the most important resources in this game. Very similar to things like a Civilization, there is food production, gold, science, and then in this game as well, there is influence. And then I am playing with the Together We Rule DLC, which has another kind of currency, and that is what they call leverage. So we'll talk more about that as we get further into this game. But right now we're just running around trying to find our way. We're in a desert now, very interesting. This is a layer that is going to produce bad animals, essentially, not ones that we necessarily want to hunt. So we are going to ransack it so it stops producing them. That will just take 1 turn, and it'll get us closer to getting a new tribes member. Beautiful. Seeing some more science here, so let's go after it. This looks like an oasis. Beautiful. Okay, encampment. Lots of science things popping up. Big fan of that. Okay. I'm going to go for the other science thing first. Also seeing obsidian. And we're hitting another thing here. So, world of flame in the distance. A thin cord of smoke cuts up into the blue skies. We're about to direct them to put out fires with loose soils. youths. They are coming our way. What are we going to do? So we can either basically take them in and we'll get a new tribe member, or we can get a particular tech thing. I'm going to get the other tribe member just because it creates more exploration and more chances to collect these particular points on the map here. So we have a woolly mammoth that we could potentially fight. Another real difference in this game that I think is for the positive is how combat works. So Civilization 6, for those of you that did not play Civilization 4, that game was all about basically stacking troops into one group. So you had these kind of death stacks of units marching across the world and went to that. Starting in Civ 5, they unstacked them and they didn't allow more than one unit per tile. And then Civ 6 tried to get around that a little bit by creating corps, I think divisions as well. I can't remember the exact nomenclature there to do that, but the idea was that they were trying to get some stacking. So here, right now, we are constrained to armies of 4 units. It will get bigger as technologies go on, but also we can, I think combat is more interesting in this game as well. So we'll fight some battles here soon. Oops, did not mean to click on that, but we'll go towards that science anyways. Now we can choose our first civilization, and it looks like we are actually going to be the first ones to be able to do so. So let's look and see here. Generally speaking, production and then food are the two best. So the Egyptians are a really, really good starter because this top thing here, perk, so +1 industry on top, producing industry, -10 district industry cost. This lasts throughout the game as you progress through. So this will always stick and it will stack. So it says this unique trade will be trained throughout the eras regardless of how your empire evolves. That's really, really strong. This is the civilization or culture specific district they can build. So it is unstacking cities just like in Civilization. So influence, more industry, does take a stability hit. And then this is their special unit. Egyptians are really, really good. Production, I would consider to be basically the 1B resource in this, 1A being food. The Harappans are very, very good. However, this start thing, this fertile inundations, is not the best. So I am going to take the Egyptians here to start. We haven't founded an outpost yet. We'll get there. Now we can say, well, what do we want to do? So what is going to be our legacy throughout the game? Waddle and Daub adds production. Plant lore gives us food. And then astronomy gives us science. I'm going to go Waddle and Daub just because that will let us build things that can let us grow faster. And ultimately at this point, we are about construction here. So let me collect this food right here to get another person. And once you know we have someone popping out, they're going to go explore. This person, now we can found our first outpost. And there we have a 16-2, a 10-4, a 4-8. We can't build it particularly on the mineral deposit. I am going to... Interesting. I'm seeing... Did someone already take... No, this is me. Sorry, I'm like confusing myself here. I am going to, so it's clearly here just going by the sum. That 2 production is not great, although the food is fantastic. I will actually settle here just because population, particularly early on, units cost population, and having that early on, that boost is just fantastic. So we are the Egyptians. Our units have changed. Another just nice little touch here as well is... So what we want to do here is build districts. Ultimately, when we get 6 distinct districts, we will get era. By the way the kind of winning, or how you win this game, is through fame here. So we are at 100 to start. If I click on my empire, you can get 24 stars in each era. Whatever civilization or culture that you choose, they are going to have a preferred mode of doing this. So because we chose an industrious or a builder civilization, we are going to get more fame points here for building districts. Things that are about food are going to get more for increasing population. Some are about money. Some are about researching particular technologies. Some are about killing other civilizations. Expansionist is about controlling those territories, things like that. There are 24 stars per thing, so once you progress to a new era, you can't get these anymore. These will be available again, but they progressively get more and more expensive and harder to get as the game goes on. So it's not necessarily the best strategy, so to speak, to pick, or pivot as soon as you can. Actually, I am going to go, it's the wrong thing, but that is the place to go right there. That was better, slightly worse food, but much higher production. And we might pivot to a food-based civilization later. So here we're still exploring the map, just trying to figure this out. The way that kind of cities and stuff work here as well is you can attach, so per territory you can have one outpost, and then those outposts you can either attach to a city, making it better, or you can basically create a new city. The game is going to try and quote-unquote hamstring you by having a city cap. We found, beautiful desert. So they're not going to, basically to try and avoid the, common problems that you get in something like a civilization where it's just all about expand as quickly as you can. In this game, it's going to try and limit that through basically constraining you with a city cap. And so you can have one city that is very, very powerful and attach a whole bunch of territories to it, basically just have one big city, or you can have a bunch of smaller cities as well. So interesting kind of strategies and things to think about here. So our first outpost here is building. It will take a couple turns to build, 4 turns, so we're just going to keep exploring. We are going to get access to saffron, which is another luxury, and I'm going to send this person start down here. Let's keep seeing what we're having. So we're having a lake here. This river is clearly connecting there. Can't walk on that thing specifically. Oop, hold on, curiosity. And this guy's over here. That's an interesting little choke point there. Mountain Pass could be defensible in the future. Also, this is looking like pretty prime real estate here. So I am intrigued. We're going to be stuck here crossing the river. We'll try and ransack that sanctuary as well. Okay, so we got, 15 science and 10 culture, which is fantastic. I'm seeing dye here as well. So we met our first civilization here, popping up. Edgar, what's going on? We'll just say, hey. I don't know where he is. Has he run into my civilization? I'm not quite sure here. So what we're going to do... I've seen gemstone. Pretty close to this. So I'm going to start moving up here because this looks like it's adjacent or close to. I guess there's one more thing here. I want this guy to come check out this. Also, we're seeing copper, so I'm thinking this is going to be my second territory here, and then maybe stretch down this way. Hard to say. So embassy, so now because we've met another civilization, an embassy is a special district that lets you do more nuanced, or I guess higher order diplomatic actions. So my boy here, we're going to get some money from raiding that. This looks like very much kind of an agricultural area. We're still waiting for our outpost to finish. Once we do, you get to upgrade the first city for free, but after that, it takes influence. So influence, if I haven't already said, think of it as kind of the culture, or the resource for expansion, right? It's our currency for expansion that you need it to build outposts. You're going to need it to connect cities. You're going to need it to do a lot of those things. So sometimes, the city cap that they have can be a bit annoying. It feels like you're already constrained a little bit through influence or lack thereof. But, it's another way of thinking about it. So we're still at this point in the game early on. This game's pretty slow as far as going around and, collecting stuff. We're just trying to get food. We're trying to get influence so we can even build here. So now I can build another outpost, which I think I will go for. So we're having some that are pretty good split. That 10-10 is great. Let me see if I see anything kind of better here. I want it a little higher, but it's not adjacent. Seeing an 11-10, that's pretty good. 9-7, 12-9. Okay, so we're going to go with this 11-10 one right here, which will then get us access to dye, and then we can try and move down and get access to other resources here.
You have built a first outpost, adding another territory to your empire. I know, you're hoping this is the beginning of something.
Okay, so with first city here, so by the way, if you want to move it within the thing, it costs influence. But here we're going to turn this into a city. So Memphis, our first city, big deal. Our industry is crap, but the whole point is we're going to grow very rapidly here. And then this is going to make us stronger. So just to, again, kind of lay things out, you have population. Here we're allowed to assign 2 individuals to food, 2 to industry, 2 to money, and then 2 to science. So right now, think of it as kind of being 8 as our population limit. This is how fast we're going to grow. And then stability is a way, kind of a measure of how your city is doing. So we currently are at 80, and we're slowly going to tick by 3 percentage points to 100. 100 is really, really good. Anywhere between 90 and 30 is considered fine, right? It says even there, the state will remain. The state will remain as long as your city stability is between 30 and 90%. As soon as you drop to below 30, it becomes rebellious, and you actually can't build a lot of districts. As far as districts, so these are tiles that you actually build outside the city, and they contribute, either industry or food, things like that. This Maker's Quarter is another, the generic kind of production. This one is obviously better. So we're going to build it here. Otherwise, we'd be sacrificing food as well and not getting as much production. So we'll go there. And then this infrastructures are things that you can think of as being located either within the city center or within a district specifically, and they provide bonuses. And through technology, you'll be able to get more of them. So we're now in a situation where we are still exploring, but we're going to start researching things and start building things. I'm thinking my next outpost is going to be somewhere around here, just because having access to both horses and salt is really good. So I think I'm just going to park my person there. This person is going to try and explore, although we'd be in an interesting position against this woolly mammoth. So just to show you what combat looks like early on, this series of hexes defines our possible deployment zones, while all of this here is the battlefield, so to speak. What I really like about this game is that as you progress through technologies, you can actually start adding reinforcements. Battles take multiple turns, things like that. So you can have some really interesting kind of combat scenarios. I'm perched up on the high ground. I'm just trying to chill here. I'm going to let the mammoth attack me. I can now, at this point, attack it and do good damage since we're up high. So let's do that. It's going to attack me again because it's an idiot. And we got ourselves a winner. So we killed the animal. We're going to get some perks from doing that. So we got 20 gold. And there you go. So as far as research goes, calendar lets us... It's interesting. I don't know why all of these... I guess because we have such a buildup of science that these are free. Domestication is pretty good as well, but calendar is going to be the big one for us here because it lets us extract luxury resources, and we know we already have some of those. Carpentry is another good one. Having archers early on is really, really solid. Domestication is an interesting one. We will want to be able to collect horses soon. I'm actually going to go carpentry first and then into domestication. So we're going here, finding an outpost for 92. We are now fighting another hostile animal, it looks like. And we'll park ourselves in some trees. Manual battle. We'll go into the trees. No, let's go up high ground. And this ravenous bear is attacking us. We do need to retake our flag, though. But we're in a position where we're going to kick this bear's butt. So that's another thing I forgot to mention. So as you can see here, this is all technically the battlefield. When you spawn, you have a flag. And then if they take it, particularly within a city, you lose. So we're doing well here. Through our cities, we are gaining now influence per turn. I'm going to fight this deer. Because it's a peaceful animal, it's going to be easier to fight and kick its butt. Although we are at a disadvantage in the sense that we're already low on HP here. And so we died. That's unfortunate. So as soon as this builds, it's going to take 4 turns. I'll show you how we can either build a city on it or attach it. If we are able to secure this as well, that's really good too. But we have a while until we can actually build our next city. You can see here it's going to take 186 influence to build our next outpost. So we have some time to wait. So at this point, I know that this guy is basically going to want to chill here. This guy also. So I am going to park both of them for now, station, and we're just going to wait for things to build. So a few turns have passed, so our outpost here has been established. So either A, we can transform it into a city for 240 influence, which we don't have. We can also even start trying to now build, spend influence to start the resource extraction. But what I can also do is if I click on Memphis, it now will give me a cost to attach it. So attaching is outposts to cities is going to be faster, obviously, than building individual cities. What this also lets us do is basically now start to build around here attached to Memphis. I will do that first since it's going to be more efficient and better for us. So watch, you'll see that we're at 3 turns. As soon as I attach this, we still don't have any population increase, but ultimately we're now in a position where we're having more industry, more things like that than we did before. In choosing our next technology, so city defense basically allows you to build your first kind of melee unit in warriors. You can build walls as well, and fortification is its own district that lets you have your land units spawn at a different place. It also adds to the stability of cities, which is quite good. So we'll take this because it's much cheaper. Irrigation is, in my opinion, obviously better because you can build public fountains, which do a lot to increase stability as well. And that is not a district. It is part of your, say, city proper. So we built our first district here. Also, you can see this handshake. Leader Edgar Allan Poe wants to talk to me again. So another thing that is a little bit different from other games as well is that the kind of status quo is that as long as you are not entering someone else's, let's say kind of region, you can fight outside of that without declaring war like you would in Civilization. I'll take a non-aggression pact. It's fine. We're, all good there. So he has picked... Everyone is in this now, the fourth thing. It looks like based on... I haven't met my other people yet, but let me look. He is a science-based civilization. Oh, he's the Babylonians. So now we can build something else. So we've increased our influence on this district. This is causing us -10 stability. It is improving influence. You always get influence from your what's called emblematic district as opposed to other things. But we're going to start actually now working towards resource extraction here. So either there we can get +2 food and +3 that, or 3 food and 1. I'm actually going to go for this one first for additional food to grow faster. So another thing that I think is pretty interesting here is in Humankind, they have abstracted away from workers like you would get in Civilization. I think there's pros and cons to this abstraction. So beautiful. So we've now built a artisan's quarter on that, on the die. So, and it shows here, if we extend this out, these are luxury resources that we have access to. These are ones that we know about, but we don't have yet. So in Memphis, we're going to take some more time and basically build another one of these here, and you'll see that that's going to start pushing the stability up. Seeing lead up there. So we're now at the point now where we have enough influence, 113, to build our next outpost. So I want to look here and see what we can do. This will provide 8 food and 17. Versus if I was to build over here to try and do the other things, there's not 6 and 16 is not bad. 2 and 20, 4 and 15. So I think this person here as well, because we're also going to get these benefits from having the Danakil Desert, which is 10 stability on city or outpost, +5 knowledge, +5 science. That's really strong. So we'll build it right there. We'll take 3 turns, and then I think we'll attach. You can see up here, this is what's called our city limit. So we have 1 city, right now Memphis. We couldn't have a maximum of 2. You're allowed to have more, but what it does, it actually starts to hurt your influence. Once we get to a certain amount of influence, we can claim wonders and then build them, and a bunch of cities at once can build them, and they are very strong. So the Pyramid of Giza, -25 on district industry cost, is really, really good. But it currently is locked because we don't have enough influence. So how are we going to get there? Well, we can start by building a pottery workshop, which will give us +4. That's pretty good here, because right now we're at a point where we want to start attaching territories as quickly as we can. I'm now going to start moving this guy around to just explore out here and just see. And it looks like here's a red civilization that we haven't met yet. I'm just seeing the outlines of. And I'm going to have him start wandering up. I do love me my salt. We have more dye. If you get access to enough things, later on you can actually build like a super artisan quarter and get really, really good bonuses from that. This can build, it says once per territory. And so now that we have another territory, we can build it again. And so let's do that. So we're out here exploring, because this has kind of this checkered line that tells me that this is a outpost that they have here, which you can actually ransack and start to destroy before they get to convert it into a city or attach it. And with that, we've now met our next person, and we'll just say, hey, what's up? Livia Drusilla, interesting Roman name they decided to go with there. So because we got that science boost and that influence boost, that's great. So we've unlocked city defense. We got another era star for researching these. So we are currently at 2 out of the 24 stars in the era. And as soon as you hit 7, you are allowed to progress to the next era if you want. You can switch civilizations if you want, but you can also, as they say, transcend. So you don't get the benefits of being a new civilization, but you actually get more culture by staying, or I should say more fame points in doing it. So if I wanted to, I could actually ransack this, and that would then remove their outpost and potentially hurt them a lot. I'm a fan. Let's do this. It'll make them upset with me, but who cares? It's going to take 9 turns. We'll see if they do anything about it. If you play aggressively in this game, it generally works out pretty well. So here we have a solid line. So this is going to be one of their cities, and you'll see that it would take war to enter through that. So I just kind of want to get an idea of where they are, and they're already claiming things down here, so that's interesting. So this guy's hanging out, just going to scope out. Their city then is probably back there from what I can see. I could ask through treaties to try and share maps, although I think I need writing to do that. Oh no, I can. Let's share maps. Oh, they don't like me. That's mean. So them rejecting me there via that treaty has triggered a crisis. And so I can either demand it. In doing that, what I'm going to basically demand money for it. And if they don't do that, I can ultimately declare war, or I can renounce it to get this pawn, which is leverage. Leverage has interesting things that once you have an embassy established, you can use leverage to basically manipulate them via diplomatic actions. For now, I'm not ready to go to war against them. I don't have units and stuff to do that, but I may try and rush Livia Drusilla here and attack her, but we'll see how things go. So from this, this is also now strong enough where I can attach it. So if I click on Memphis, it's 90 to attach. That will affect stability, but will also make us stronger. So let's do that. So we have a good idea up here. There's a lot of dye around here. There's salt, which big fan of. Outpost is going to be pretty expensive there just because we're not... There, I'm seeing, what is this? Tea. There is lead. Or we're in a really good spot here. I think what we want to do, though, is start maybe expanding this way. I'm going to put this troop back in my area, though, so he can heal. So we have a narrative event happening here. We have a deluge of rainfall. What are we going to do? So we can gamble. There's a choice of bad things happening. I will protect. It costs gold, but good consequences. At this point, gold is not that expensive, or I should say not that useful. It gets, I think, more valuable as the game goes on. So now here, I can either up my industry, which is pretty good. I'm going to build another district over here. And I can get my breakdown of science. 10 from districts, 6 from researchers. And that's because of this. Or is that just coming from the main plaza? The main plaza plus 8. Okay, very cool. So you see here, this is a kind of independent people's thing that has popped up. With them, we have options. We can basically establish contact with them. And then if we decide to spend influence and or money, ultimately, we can either assimilate them or turn them into a client state, which gives us perks as well. I'll establish contact with them here, and then I will start to spend money, because who cares?
This is the start of a beautiful friendship.
So in doing this, we're going to start getting these patronage points per turn. Just spending a little bit of influence. I don't care as much about gold right now. And ultimately, with time, as long as no one goes out and kills them, they could be our second city or third city, or we can turn them into a client state. We have ransacked their city. It's very sad for them. So this is a leverage point on the map here. And so you have to send a diplomat, or if you're a diplomatic civilization, you collect this and it just gives you leverage. Nothing too important. They want me to pay, I'll refuse, say whatever. So their war score from that is boosting. As soon as they hit 80, they're allowed to declare war. What they can also do is a surprise war, which has potential problems as far as the enemy basically gets additional war support. The way you win wars is you get their war support to 0 by attacking cities, things like that. For me, I think the time to attack is that, just to go here quickly, bronze working is great. Wheel lets us get our really good resource. We would need 2 horse and 1 copper to get there, so bronze working to me seems more important to start. I'm going to take bronze working first here just to be able to build something on our bronze to take advantage of it. It also gives us spearmen, which are powerful, early kind of anti-cav units. Okay, we have another narrative event saved, and we're going to get more food. Yay! I'm going to hang on one more turn and see where I can potentially build an outpost there. I've got another Aerostar for, I believe, attaching more land. So yes, we got it from, or no, Builder Star. That's great, and that's one we want. So what do we do here? We can either lose some money, Defiant, -5 stability, or Superstitious. We'll go Defiant. Stability is not a problem here on our main city. Outpost, 16-3, 4-13, 8-11, 10-7-1. What do we do here? Maybe we don't build an outpost there and we just go for the other horse. 11-9, 12-5. Let me move up here and we'll make that decision next turn. So I think this 11-9 is where we want to go. And it gives us access to another horse. And we got some money, which is great. So their city, Haojing, just hanging out up there. So at this point, industry's fine. I'm going to take a money person away. Puts us down to 0, which isn't my favorite, but I want to prioritize growing here. And then I can look here and it'll say the gains we get in the city. I want an additional 16 food to grow. Population really in the early game is important as well. As I said, building units consumes population. Okay, so here we're in an interesting position. And who are they? I can now go against them and I will demand it. I will withdraw to get a little bit more war support. So we are moving towards war here with them. They've already done, wow, all of their things. That's crazy to me that they are ready to, if they wanted to, transcend. Into the next era. I don't know how the computer does this, like gets these things so quickly. But when we kill them, it's not going to matter. So they've claimed, yeah, wow, they're going up here. They're being very bold. And trying to take my stuff. So here, also part of the thing, you may have noticed this down here, we can also use influence to enact these civics. So just to show details, civics allow us to move onto these things. So like we can have influence on here, so +10 stability, so then this would move us to 5 stability and that. So as we hit this axis, that's progress versus tradition, liberty versus authority, world versus homeland focus, and then collectivism versus individualism. So they will change. I'm gonna go natural right just because influence right now is early. We'll lose a little bit of stability, but we'll also get some science. And then legitimacy is how we think about ruling. And then ultimately this moves to the far extreme, which is, hey, give us a bunch of stuff, or I can put us back in stability. -50 on create outpost for now. That's pretty good. The attach outpost is also strong, but I think we're going to go create outpost. And now we have a thing about how do we think about dealing with other people. I'll probably go more towards fellow peoples once we have enough influence. That will take a turn. Here we are at 18, so once we hit 20 of these patronage points, we can do something like science collaboration to get some science, or trading charter. Looks like we got a warrior from this, so I'll move my warrior to my main building. I think our first opponent is going to be Libya over there. And this person can just keep exploring the map. Say over here. As far as what's going on in our city, we're doing okay on population. I can get a little bit more food. I can get some more stability, which we don't need right now. I think we go warrior for 1 turn. And then we'll park them right there. We'll harvest from a carcass of riches. You're going to chill right there, my warrior. Let's make sure our other warrior comes and attaches to you as well. And then I think here I want to build a farmer's quarter to try and just get some food as well. And we're in a potential battle against who? Independent people. We're weaker. I'm going to retreat. So we have an idle army here. We'll try and collect some discoveries as well. We can do that here too. We got another warrior. Interesting. I guess through food. He can build now a outpost. I think we do that too here, just to claim this. I want access to the horse and then ultimately the salt as well. We'll need both of those for our emblematic unit, the chariot archer. We're still a ways away from that, so our war against Libya is quite a ways off, but we are going to try and get them. We'll go polytheism. We've got an agrarian star because we have built. We have enough people. Our army here, what do we do? I'm going to set this person to, where's Auto Explore? I know there's an Auto Explorer. Auto Explorer. There you go. Go do your stuff. Army composition, another civic. So we can either make our units cheaper or make them stronger. We don't have the influence to do that yet, but we'll come back and think about it. And these hang around for as long as you need. It's not like as soon as you discover it, you need to have it. Very expensive to attach. At this point, I might make that its own city and then attach something like this and get some lead. We'll see. We're in another battle here. We're going to keep just trying to run away. And retreat here as well. Those warriors are new too. At this point, I want to see how much it would be. Okay, sorry. There's my son, Jack. He's future Humankind superstar. They're following us. We got to run here. I am seeing black too, this black civilization. So I want to maybe poke my head in and say hi. So now we have 3 warriors, and then ultimately we'll want to get... All right, we have to fight this. If we do, I guess I'm going to go manual battle here and then just deploy up on the hill and hope. And so now you'll see that this battle, instead of it just being kind of one-shot things like you would also get in, say, a Civilization game, it's going to last a lot longer too. So there's 3 rounds within this turn, and then also there are 2 turns. So basically there are 6 rounds, so to speak, which I think adds a lot more nuance to battles, which I think is pretty great. I'm going to pass here again as well and let them attack. That gives us this defending modifier, so we won't take as much damage. And we've killed the wildlife, and we got some money from it, so that's great. Okay, so we can either have a lot of industry, we can have cheaper units, or we can celebrate. Monstrous Creatures Den is in the nearby mind. How should we respond to the rumors? Let's investigate. Let's see what happens. These narrative events can be really fun. Okay, so we've researched bronze working. What, Livia has a thing against me? Oh, you're oppressing my people. So basically what this means is that she is exerting influence over my territories. I'll demand this as well and then withdraw. So we're going to very quickly go up to a pretty high war score here. Okay, I've met black now. Hello, Mama Oklo. Oklo, I'm pronouncing that correctly. We're going to park our person here and then just say, attack us. To those independent people who keep trying to chase me down for some reason. And let's move these warriors over here while we can. So when we move into organized warfare, this is what lets us reinforce armies in battle, which is what we're waiting for to get that attack, and it will make attacking Queen Livia's city a lot easier. So in the meantime, we can go into wheel, which will give us what we need here to build our Markabata, which are really, really strong ranged units. So we're going to do that.
An embassy opens
Built
elsewhere
this.
in the
Memphis is looking great.
precisely the kind of thing an
And we're
ambassador
now going to
would know
get
about
some science
ahead of
from our
time.
copper. And we have another warrior up here. Okay, so we're going to have 2 armies, and we're going to wait to be able to reinforce before we go attack Livia and Haojing. And kick her butt. We're getting our butt kicked as far as fame goes. I'm not too worried about that. I am a late bloomer in this game when it comes to that stuff. We're still not having any issues here with population. I am going to move one of my money things over here to get more growth, and I'm going to build another farm district. I really want to up my population to be able to churn out troops here in just a little bit. Oh, sweet. We discovered another wonder somewhere. Oh, no, I want you, sorry, to attach. So now we have an army of 4 warriors, and then we'll start layering on ranged troops, and we'll have ourselves quite the army to deal with our enemies. Queen Livia. All right, pecking of poultry. What are we going to do? We can either get some science. I think that we are going to want to start rushing those technologies here. That's the ultimate goal. We can claim a wonder for the first time, but I think more important for me is to build a city. So Thebes now is its own city over here. It's not the best city in the world, but we're going to make it work. And then I'm going to go for the horse. And then ultimately this will need to be attached to Memphis for 225 to get the other horse. Non-aggression pact with the Harappans, fine. And then what's our crisis? You attacked me. I'll renounce it. I don't want to fight you yet. Queen Livia is in my sights. So now I can transcend if I want to. Although I'm very close to getting an aesthete star as well as these. So I'm going to hang out here in the first era for a bit. And we didn't find much there. That's a bummer. Leadership, what does this do? Stability on capital or 1 city cap. That's pretty good. I think the +1 city cap is what we want to do, but we don't need to do it right now. Remind later. So just to let you know, you can choose a new one, or if you transcend, what this does is improve your fame gains. Your emblematic units might become outdated. I think that the Greeks are very good as far as science goes. +2 science per researcher is very strong. Who else is very good are the Achaemenid Persians, because they have a +2 city cap, which is just really, really strong for expansionist things. So if you're playing like against a lot of other civilizations, having the ability to have that multiple city cap is just so strong. But for now, we're going to park it and wait. So I can get more food, more industry. I think we're going to go more industry for now. He's going to sleep. What's going on in Thebes? We can do a calendar. So if we do solar, that moves us towards learning, or lunar would move us towards, I think, tradition. I'm an ancient Roman guy, so I love solar. Julius Caesar, shout out to my boy for switching the Romans from a lunar to solar calendar. So we're going to honor him. Thebes now, we can begin the move towards making it productive. And then here, okay, she's attacking me with what? We are on high ground. I think they would be on high ground too. We'll manual battle this. And then I'm just going to post up here in the trees and deployment. So they're coming in with cavalry, scout riders. Oof. Probably going to lose this. And if I attack her down the hill, what happens here? About even. So Do we flip a coin? I mean, ultimately, if she has our flag by the end of this, we're not looking good. And she'll keep attacking me up the hill, which is at her disadvantage. I think we got to try and push damage again. And then she'll attack up the hill and hopefully die. Got her. We almost died for it, but we didn't. So we've researched the wheel. We got a science star, so we're doing really good at 1500, although I don't know how everyone else is kicking my butt when it comes to this stuff. I'm not going to claim a wonder yet. What's more important to me is attaching here in Memphis to be able to get the additional horse and the copper eventually, but right now, horse. Because then we'll be able to build our special unit right here. And now researching organized warfare. So then bringing all of our units to bear against Livia is going to be really strong. We're getting close to doing our builder stars, which is ultimately what we want to do as the Egyptians here. We only have one builder star, and so we want more. In Memphis, what can we build here with an artisan quarter? Oh yeah, salt. One turn, easy peasy. Got our builder star, which is great. And now we're going to start building these Markabatas. And let's build 1, 2 of them. So I'll take 5 turns total. Now we can go ahead and claim a wonder since we haven't claimed anything in a bit. Pyramid of Giza, that hurts. Stonehenge is okay. +2 combat on a thing that has range from forests. You make me upset, Edgar. I think at this point then it's not worth it. Thebes is looking strong. Is there anything that we can build quickly in Thebes? The answer there is no. Let's prioritize trying to get food or influence first. And then I will build a spearman here. And I think with those 8 units, we'll be well positioned to move out and attack. We're at 76. I'll demand for now. I'm going to keep this going for now. I think in Memphis, I'm going to want to continue to churn out units here just to reinforce, and there I think then the Markabata will do 2 more of them to send and help our units. Jack, there's your milk right there, buddy. Here we're not growing as fast as I'd like to be. So I'm going to build a food district in Thebes. So organized warfare is now researched, which is fantastic. And now it's time to start marching our troops out to fight Livia. Our units are slow because of that lethargic. Kind of a bummer. But her capital of Haojing is on its way down here. So in Memphis, we're going to have...
Dad, I need some remote.
Daddy, get you some in a bit, okay? We're going to keep sending our special units out. Let's have a guard dog. High chance of good what does sacrificing do? Ooh, I love hunt. I want cheaper units. They're going to slowly crawl their way over to her city. While for now, I think what we're going to do is try to sack some of her outposts. So my first unit here will ransack. get the ball rolling. Go join them, at least temporarily. All right, these armies are now ready to start moving a little bit quicker. So I think at this point then we don't ransack. Memphis. I'm going to want to go again here. Let's build one more of these. Maybe another. I can also spend money to do this, so I'm even going to do that right now. And have the other one come out the next turn. We can still enter a new era, but we're so close to getting more population, some gold, and then aesthete stars that I think we keep this going. And I'm actually going to move away from ransacking here since we are right on the cusp of taking her down. Got an agrarian star from population growth, which is fantastic. She has entered the second era as who? As the Maya and as the Han. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're at the point now where it's... I'm not going to do it yet. Yeah, okay, we're going to declare war. Let's do it. Coming for you. Let's move there and have this unit do their best to move here. And then we got one more unit that's also coming to play here pretty soon. Now in Memphis, we are not looking good on stability, so I will build a public fountain. And then who? Interesting, black is fighting us. I don't know why. And they're still trying to fight me. Okay, here's how things are going to move. We'll be able to continue to send in reinforcements. So if and when we attack this now, yeah, we're much stronger. So we're going to assault their city. Manual battle, of course. Now the thing I'm going to do is move my ranged units back just a little bit and then bring these warriors to the forefront. I think our ultimate goal here should be to... They can potentially flank us, so I will put... No, we'll leave our... Okay, we've ended our deployment. We get to go first and do some work on them. Can anyone attack? You can. What about you? They're all outside line of sight. You can attack there again. Inside their city, it's not very favorable attacks, but I think we still need to try and push it. Because if and when we can have these units start firing, and then I can even add my reinforcements as well and station them up here. So you can see now the battlefield is very large, which is why one of the, again, things I really love about this game is their combat. I think is very well done. There's their flag, so ultimately that's what's going on, but they are going to be able to reinforce here pretty soon. If we move here, we'll be able to push some damage. Already attacked, I think, I guess then. Can move here and kill it. And then if this troop gets inside these fortifications, it's much stronger. And then I'm looking for a place where my archer can attack their person on their flag. All right, it's right there. I guess already attacked. What about you? Can't attack again. Can't attack and move. What about you? Do a lot of damage there, sure. So we'll end around here, and we'll see. I think they're going to start reinforcing, which they are. But again, all we have to do is hold this. We hold the city center. Looks like they're attacking me with their own things. Yeah, that's doing a lot of damage. Little do they know, I also have very powerful things. I can basically hit down their horse. Lots of damage, lots of damage. I do want to try and take this thing out though, because if I'm able to hold it, if I hold their flag, that's basically game over for them. Is this the one that's already attacked? Nope. I'm going to move my spearmen up to try and get an attack here against their chariot. Not the best attack in the world. Can you attack this round? It's outside line of sight. That's fine. So these units are pretty fragile here. Slightly weaker. Ooh, that was a really bad roll there. And then we'll push this unit forward. But again, we're holding their flag. As long as that unit survives, we should win this siege. So we'll end the round. They need to try and focus all of their attacks here. But we are fortified, so I think they're going to have a really hard time doing it. So they're somehow still holding on. I'm not sure exactly how. But we have our very strong troops here, which should wreck their day. I'm trying to see if they have any other units here. I'm not seeing any. Can't attack this round. Can't attack this round. This one has already fired. This one can. Okay. Taking the high ground, which means they can't beat me, obviously, and that should do it then. So we've taken their city. Got a militarist star as a result. They're still alive because they have another city over here, and they're rapidly trying to expand, but you'll notice here their war support is dropping crazy. And we should actually then even be able to take them out here as a result. So I think I'm going to go for the aesthete star and go from there. Sure, I'll trade luxuries with you. I'm cool with that. Urgent affair requires my attention. Army wages. On occupy, we pay wages. That gives me 10 stability on cities. No, it's going to move us. Okay, I'm fine with that. Leadership. I want small council for the +1 city cap. And then we're fighting a battle. I don't know why this person keeps attacking me. I know I'm going to lose, so we're just going to resolve it. I'm going to renounce to try and get some leverage against them. I don't know why they're being a real dick. When it comes to treaties here, so what can we do? I think we're going to go science collaboration with them, so that will boost our science by quite a bit. And then we're almost there. We're literally one turn away from being able to assimilate them as a, or I'll put them as a client state.
An enormous leap forward from mundane talent.
And we have research writing, so we get that fun little perk. Are we the only one who is now? The Mai have been taken. All right, we're going to go for the Achaemenid Persians. The Romans are a real bummer. though you do get stronger armies, and Praetorians are pretty fun, but the Persians, that +2 city cap is just so good. So we're going to transcend here. And so we're going to move in and occupy Haojing to try and keep it ours. And now we'll research masonry.
As urban centers,
And we have progressed to the classical era. And we are the Achaemenid Persians, our goal being now to own territories. And so here, we now have 103. So what we're going to do is, man, too expensive to assimilate now. But you'll see here, they're pretty rapidly losing this. So within, 6 turns, they'll be tapping out. We've lost access, unfortunately, to our workers, and oh no, we still have our Markabata, which is great. And so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to move person over here, see if we can claim a wonder, if there's any special ones now. Statue of Zeus. Colossus is okay. Lighthouse. I don't think Navy's going to be big here. Do we go Temple of Artemis? I think we go Mausoleum of Halicarnassus here. Yep. So we're getting close to beating Libya. I want to see how things are looking for her, basically what her next city looks like. That's maybe it up on the hill. Hard to see. And again, once she actually does hit 0 war support, that doesn't mean that I have to end it, just that I can. We're going to move that person there and then heal him up one more turn. Philosophy, increase the city cap, and let's build research quarters. Hydrology is another really good one as well. Standing army seems great for us. So it seems like their city is, or her city is this way then. And she has swordsman, a javelin, and then a scout rider. If I was to say attack, we should beat them. I'll hold and support my units right now. And move these ones forward as well. So again, we're just kind of slow rolling it. We'll skip turn. And we'll see if she decides to engage. If she does, she is going to lose that fight. And again, we don't have to kill her here. But if we take out her capital, that's probably going to be the death knell for her. So I'm going to push this here. She's retreated, which gives her insta war support reduction. And then we're going to send another trooper out here. Oh, very cool. Got a swordsman from this runner. Interesting. So we got a lot of... So I had a runner here just to ultimately go and try to collect some lead. And I think where I want to try and go here is 2-8, 2-12, 5-5-5-4-8. So there's their capital, Feng Hao. Okay, they are going to take this fight, which is interesting. I'm going to swap some positions here on the front line. And we'll end our deployment and then see what they're doing. Again, the whole idea here is just going to be to pepper them. I'll have this unit move back since it's already attacked. This one will push forward and hit their swordsmen. My warriors are going to be much weaker than their swordsmen. Let's push our troops back here, particularly our mounted ones. And then we're going to move that other swordsman up. I should say warrior, sorry. So we're in defensive positions here, so now we know that they have their own ranged unit. They're going to do some damage against me, which is a real bummer. We're for sure going to take some hits here. But we'll be able to hit theirs as their javelinier. So I guess this one's already attacked. Can't get through my troops. What about you? Yeah, honey. Be there in a minute. So if we push damage against their ranged unit as well, hopefully we'll live long enough that our goal is at this point just to try and pepper them with arrows. They have one unit left. Got him. Wow. Crazy stuff. Oh, very cool. Found another wonder over here. Let's go explore this direction. And at this point then, we can start ransacking their outposts. Let's make sure Thebes is stable. So although we can end this war right now, I think we probe and see just how much damage we can even do here against their last city.
Look what a competing empire has accomplished. A gasp of wonder, a cry of astonishment, and perhaps a pang of jealousy.
Let's go manual battle here. I think the one change we make is that position back there. That's not climbable. This is interesting. We can potentially go back. So I think we'll keep our deployment here. Let's just see what we can do. Wow, in 2 hits we killed that. That's pretty great. I think this is already attacked. We can walk through. That's pretty great. Let's see if we can pick off. Yep, at very minimal damage to ourselves. And then we have, I think we go back and then attack. And then here, that's not very favorable. We can go here. And I think we end the round. Okay. So they've expended a lot of energy trying to attack those, and that's fine. And as soon as this guy moves in and we hold that, it's basically game over for them. And there we go. So that's great. Taking Feng Hao is really good for us as well. So now we can push for an end of the war. So we will force her surrender. We have 247. We can't do both, unfortunately, but we can really strip them of a lot of... We can also just have them become our vassal. But then she gets to still be very strong. So I think we take Haojing and everything associated with that, and then we're going to peel off as much from Feng Hao as we can. So let's take everything in Haojing, and then I'll take Veltaire. And then I can have them give me Mothala, or this is what I'm ransacking. Can't take that. So we'll do this. We're not going to get much in reparations. They're trespassing. I'll renounce that. That's fine. So we got one of our expansionist stars. So with that peace treaty, we'll wrap up part 1 here, and I'll see you next time for part 2 as we continue playing Humankind.